is that we look at where we're at. Every day we look at where we're at, and then we think, how can we become better? And when we work with the farm, we meet the farm and we look at where they're at and how can they become better. Um, when we started, it's easy to use terms organics. It's easy to use term fair trade. It's easy to use all these beautiful terms that we see everywhere in marketing. Um, but it's not easy to do the work, and that's what we're trying to do is to actually um, meet farmers that are ready to do the work. And Jose for us was one of the most impactful farmers, impactful family, because they're not where we want them to be at. When we think of ceremonial cacao, we think of this perfect cacao where everything is in harmony, where farmers are doing Mayan ceremonies, and where everything is natural. Often, at least for myself, that would be the image I have. With this parcela, and especially this region, and that's why I mean it's important to know where we're at. We're in Such-Tepeques. It's an industrial monoculture farming region. And look around you. This is where the magic starts for us. That's diversity. And it's not perfect. And when we met Jose, he used chemical. And if I'm honest, even sometimes with cacao sauce, the most important that we do is we investigate. Because it's also easy to say we're organic. It's very easy to use these words. And they've used these words and didn't meant it. So we always investigate. So we don't ask, are you organic? We ask, what chemicals are you using? And often they're proud of their chemicals. So they're like, oh, I'm using this one and this one. They're like, huh, that's not organic. We also do soil testing. Because also when you see organic certification, it's a bit bullshit. If I'm honest, it's easy to get an organic certification. I think you can still use a bit of chemical and still get it. It's not to a certain amount, it doesn't trace as much, so you can still get certified organic and still use them. So we do soil testing, not soil testing to know if it is or not, soil testing to know is it improving, and that's what regeneration is.
What do you test for then? Like nitrogen, or what do you test for in the soil?
We test for a few products. I would need to look at the soil testing.
Chemicals.
We test for chemicals. We test for a few different also, not only for knowing if there's chemicals, but also knowing how can we improve production. And also something that is important is, let's say, when we say ceremony is everywhere, like the our tagline always been life is a ceremony. It starts in the field, and by the field I don't mean doing ceremonies while they're planting. Some farmers are still doing it in the Kekchilan, but for us it's about the intention, and then it's how can we improve and how can bring intention and how can we be inclusive. We're in Guatemala. It's not easy. Living in Guatemala is not easy, and it's not privileged either. So let's say one of our farmer once came to us and it's like, Lawrence, I just got these 600 cacao trees and a pest came in and I use a chemical. I was like, okay, like that's against our rules. But we're talking about 600 cacao tree about to die and an income of a small indigenous family that would literally just be washed away, and a pest can take like 10 days and your cacao field is gone. So it's like, okay, what can we do? Are we ready to do the work so this doesn't happen again? Yes, what can I do for the future? Okay, let's start there. It's it's all about how can we improve. We have farmers that don't want to improve and we're taking a distance, because then we're like, okay, that now we're not doing any more regenerative work. We need the farmers. We're not here to do charity. We're not here to give. We need the farmers with us to work for that. So maybe, yeah, the most, if like one big takeaway that if you go back to your countries and you speak about cacao, is where it comes from is the most important, and understanding what that means, the political situation, the social situation, the environmental situation. Suchi-Tepeques, for me, the cacao is the future. Kekchi communities and Atavarapas is the resilience. Every region has something different. Suchi-Tepeques, the people that growing cacao in an agroforestry system are different, but different in ways you can't even imagine. Their neighbors are like, "You're crazy. Why would you do that? Why?" And they're literally handed chemicals, and they're like, the whole region, the farmers who does this are the futurists. They're in another bubble, and it's extremely rare. When you go to the Quechua land, it's different. Almost every in the Quechua land and at Taverapas, a lot of them are organic for over 15 years now, and it's very diverse, and it's a different energy. It's a different land, and the challenge we have with them are different. It's not Suchtepekes, it's the Quechua land, it's Alta Verapaz, so we work a different way. So knowing your farmers, knowing where they're coming from, and knowing how we can go further together is really what we want to do, and that's part of the ceremony. It's like when you invite a circle and you're in a cacao circle, you don't exclude someone. It's like a cacao field is like a reflection of our inner world. It's the outer world is a reflection. Sometimes there's a bit of poison in our inner world. Our heart is a bit icky, and we still include these people in our circles and in our ceremonies. We still include ourselves even when we have a bit of ickiness inside of us in our ceremonies. So in the cacao growth, we're here for healing. We're here, everything is connected. So as much as in the field, in the ceremonies, in the process, everyone is here for healing, as long as we're open to it. So anyone who walks in your cacao circle, even if they have thoughts completely different than yours, if they're open for healing, you open your circle. And it's the same with the cacao fields. If we're open for healing, if the nature is open for healing, we open our circle. And that's part of the ceremony. So it's very important, if you have cacao from Suchtepekes region, to understand the impact that is having here. It's very important. Because that is like, that's like my life mission, my dream is like to have Suchtepekes agroforestry, and it starts by small places, and then the neighbors are seeing it, are like, what, you're making money? You're sustainable, and you're not having all these mushes, like these plagas, even if you're organic. Like, how I want to make money like you, and it grows. So that impact is having is really growing, and this is thanks to people like Jose, thanks to people like Cheyo. It's people that are futurists, they're visionaries, and they see an opportunity that is not yet known in the community. So that's a bit of my personal input. ¿Quieres compartir alguna cosa más?
Pues bien, muy bien.
So I hope you really get to.
Maybe later, maybe cuando termine.
que